Hello, this shouldn't take too long today. This is the 109th day, first video, and I think there'll only be one video today. It really shouldn't take too long. In what I taught yesterday, it occurred to me that I think I had not had you put in your notes no as an interjection. She says no, and then she says si. Well, you did have no in your notes, but as an adverb, as in no quiero. Well, no in Spanish covers the territory of both no and not in English. There it was meaning not. I do not want. No quiero Taco Bell. If it's just said no, we say no. Well, that's an interjection. Now, if you watch the Brendan Fraser movie, Bedazzled, part of that, when he wakes up, he's married to the woman of his dreams. Sadly, she doesn't love him. He hadn't asked for that. But when he's rattling off the Spanish, at one point he says, "Realmente estoy hablando español." Well, you should be, the only thing that in that you would not understand is hablar. What that means is really, and there's that mente. Real, by cognates, you would know that that's really, and there's that mente, whoops. Estoy, I am, hablando. Well, the verb hablar means to speak, and there's that ando, speaking español, you would know. Realmente, estoy hablando español, he says, and that is all done very fast. Oh, and another thing. I almost forgot. Brendan Fraser, the actor, his Spanish is so fast and seemingly so good, I wondered, is he a native Spanish speaker? And there was a student that I had in 8th grade when she was about an 11th grader. She spent half a year in Peru. And she came back to the high school, and I was substituting for the high school Spanish teacher, switching places one day. And I showed that to the kids. And I asked her, I said, do you think he's a native Spanish speaker? Now her Spanish, she basically had learned it strictly from that total immersion experience of living in Lima, Peru. And she listened and she said, no, he's not. Because she picked up the fact that at one point he calls another guy, he says, idioto. He says, idioto, you idiot. And she says, no native Spanish speaker would say that. It's idiota. It would end with an A. Even though it's a guy that he's speaking to, that, just like well, anyway, it's one of those cases there, he would not say that. So he slips up. And I was proud of her for knowing her Spanish so well that she could pick that up. All right, hablar, you could add it if you wanted to in your notes. Hablar, I won't be in the test on Tuesday. It means to speak. There's that ar, or that R. Hablas, and you could add this if you want. A standard question is, hablas español? Speak you, that's an A. Speak you Spanish? If you were speaking to someone you didn't know well, you would say habla español, habla usted español. And the answer usually is hablo un poco. If you understood that, you probably, or you could say no hablo. But anyway, I just throw that in. All right, now, on Tuesday, I decided I'm going to go through the process of showing you how I tested my students on their 2 weeks of Spanish. I don't want to do it Monday because I want to sort of review a little. But then Tuesday, I think I'll just take that day to show you how I would give the Spanish test. Between now and then, what I'd like you to do, and this is what I did with my class, is I'd like you to find some movie that you know very, very well. One of your favorite movies, but you're going to have have it probably on a DVD with a remote, and have it such that you can turn on the Spanish subtitles. Many DVDs will do that. But you really should have a movie that you know that movie by heart. You know what they're saying all the time. Because really, you could then turn the sound off or run the sound way back. I would do this with the class. But I'd have the Spanish subtitles on there. And what I used was Dodgeball. Not the whole movie. I would show maybe the last 15 minutes of it because it's funny. The kids like it. And most of them knew it already. And anyway, now they'd get frustrated because I'd pause it all the time. Sometimes I would even cover the top of the screen so they only saw the subtitles. And they would get frustrated, but I would point out that my job was not to entertain them. My job was to teach them. And I wanted to show them how they could understand so much of that. Now, after only 2 weeks of Spanish and a vocabulary of probably 80, maybe 90 words that I've offered, how could that be possible? Well, remember what I said about word frequency. About 100 words make up almost 50% of the occurring words in a language. When you add to that cognates, a cognate, a word like real, and for real, Espanol, Spanish, when you add those two together, it's rather amazing how often if you can read what it says in the subtitles. Now, I would urge you to do that and play with it. It doesn't work to put them on speaking Spanish, dubbed in Spanish. That doesn't really work because that's too hard, I think. And another thing, subtitles don't usually match up with what's being spoken in a case like that. Now, if you had a Spanish movie for the deaf, where closed caption, I think they call it, where the captions are exactly what's being said, that would be perfect if you had something like that. But I'm not sure how that could be done. But anyway, that's what I would ask you to do between sometime if you want to carry this as far as I would take it with the two weeks. I like to remind you that I only teach Spanish for 2 weeks, at most 3. All right, well, enjoy the weekend, and well, next week we're going to take a real short break from foreign language, and then we'll go into French. Bye-bye. Hasta la vista.